Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
All right, let's get right into it. If you're a vet filing a disability claim, there is one single event that can literally make or break your entire case. And that's the compensation and pension exam, that the CNP exam. Figuring out how to handle this thing is absolutely crucial. And listen, that is not me exaggerating. That quote comes straight from a veteran who's been through the trenches, and it just shows you how high the stakes really are. This exam, this is the moment where all your hard work and preparation meets reality. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about what this exam actually is. Then we'll cover the number one most important mindset shift you have to make. After that, I'll give you a practical checklist. We'll walk through what happens on exam day, and finally, what to do if it all goes wrong. Okay, let's start with the absolute basics. To really master this thing, you first have to understand what it's actually designed for. And trust me, it's not what most people think it is. A CNP exam is not your regular doctor's appointment. You're not there for treatment. It is an evaluation. The VA hires a healthcare professional, oftentimes a private contractor, and their only job is to gather evidence. The report they write, it's going to heavily influence and frankly usually decides the outcome of your entire claim. Now, if you take only one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Your success, it all hinges on a huge mental shift in how you see the person sitting across from you. And that is the unfiltered, stone-cold truth. The examiner is not there to help you. They don't feel sorry for you, and they 100% do not work for you. They get paid by the VA to do an evaluation, and that report is for the VA. It's not personal. You got to understand it's just business. So let's just lay it all out, right? You might walk in there expecting a friendly doctor who's concerned about your health, but the reality is you're looking at a private contractor. Their job isn't to help you, it's to work for the VA. And their focus isn't your overall health. It's determining your benefits. It's a transaction, and you need to treat it with that level of seriousness. This right here, this is the perfect way to think about it. You need to treat this exam like you're giving a legal deposition. Every single word matters, every answer you give is being noted, and your only job is to present the facts of your case as clearly and consistently as you possibly can. They don't know you deserve it. You have to convince them. Okay, so now that we've got that mindset locked in, let's turn it into action. Let's talk about how you prepare, because what you do before you ever walk into that room is just as important as what you do inside it. This is your homework, your pre-exam checklist. First, you've got to know your DBQ, the Disability Benefits Questionnaire. This is the exact form the examiner uses to rate you. Knowing it is like getting to see the test questions before the exam. Second, bring your own copies of your medical records. I'm serious. Do not assume they've read your file. A lot of the time, they haven't. Third, bring your personal statement and buddy letters. This helps keep your stories straight. And finally, have your prescription list ready. Look, there is no such thing as being over-prepared for this. And this is a big one. Everything has to line up. Your story has to be consistent. What you say in that room has to match what you put in your statements and what your buddies wrote about you. If you write down that you get 1 bad migraine a week, but you tell the examiner you get 5, well, that's a huge red flag for what they call malingering, basically faking or exaggerating. And that'll sink your claim fast. All right, you've done the prep work. You're ready. Now it's game day. Let's walk through the actual exam experience because, believe me, the evaluation starts way before you think it does. So you need to be aware. From the second you pull into that parking lot, you are being observed. How you get out of your car, how you walk to the door, how you sit in the lobby, even how you talk to the receptionist, it's all fair game for their notes. And that casual, hey, how are you doing when the examiner comes out, that's not small talk. That is question number 1 of your evaluation. Be honest, not just polite. Now, let's talk about some huge don'ts. First, don't exaggerate, but just as important, don't downplay things either. Just stick to the facts. Second, when they do those range of motion tests, the second you feel pain, you stop. Don't be a tough guy and push through it, because all that does is give them a bogus measurement. Third, don't let them rush you. This is your time. And finally, know your rights. For a joint issue, they have to use a tool called a goniometer. and they can never ever physically force your body past its limit. You are in control. A lot of conditions go up and down, right? You have good days and bad days. So if you happen to be having a good day when you go to the exam, you cannot let that be the whole story. You need to explain it. You say, look, today is a good day, but on average over the last month, I've had 15 really bad days where I couldn't function. Describe the average, not just the tiny snapshot they're seeing right now. Look, even with all the best prep in the world, sometimes you just get a bad exam. It happens, but you are not powerless. Here's exactly what you need to do if you feel that exam was unfair or just plain bad. You need to be watching for these red flags. If the whole exam is over in 5 minutes, that's a problem. If the examiner walks in and asks, so what are you here for? They're not prepared. If they don't use the right tools, or if they don't even look at the body part you're claiming, like not having you take your shoes off for a foot claim, these are all huge signs of a bad exam. And this is exactly why you have to act. A bad exam means a bad report. And that report carries a ton of weight with the VA. In their eyes, that examiner's word is pretty much final, no matter what other evidence you've got. You simply cannot let a lazy bad exam go unchallenged. Okay, this right here is your weapon if things go wrong. Pull out your phone, grab a pen. I'm serious. This is the VA's main claims line, 1-800-827-1000. You need to save this number, memorize it, and most importantly, be ready to use it. And when I say immediately, I mean it. You walk out of that appointment, you get in your car, and you make the call right then and there. You tell them exactly what happened. The examiner was rushed, they were rude, they didn't do a proper exam, and you formally request a new one. Do not wait for the decision letter to come in the mail. By then, it's way too late, and you're stuck in a year-long appeal process. So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. This CNP exam isn't just another appointment. It is the best battlefield where you have to fight for what you've earned, and you fight with preparation and knowledge. So the real question is, are you ready to walk into that room and secure the benefits you deserve?
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor and sharing your product or service with the world, reach out to MarketUS.com. You can schedule a session to discover how we can work together. See you soon.